Hello, Steel City Surge fans. Kippy here, coach of the Steel City Surge, back for PDL Season 4 Orange Islands Division Week 1. And in our matchup this week, we are taking on Arch Ovum. We have a little bit of a history with Arch. We've played him twice to this point. First time we got a nice solid win. I think it was 1 or 2 nothing back in Season 2 of PDL, or Season 1 of PDL, I should say. And then back in Season 2, we faced off against him in finals, and we all know how that went. That was not a very good matchup for us, but here we are taking him on again in week 1 of season 4 here for the Orange Islands division, and boy is this team a doozy. He's got the likes of Deoxys Speed, Samurott Hisui, Blaziken, Cyclizar, Terra Zapdos, Terra Piloswine, Pheasantipede, Orthworm, Bramblegast, and Kricketune. The Zapdos can Terra into Flying, Electric, and Fairy, and the Piloswine has Ground, Grass, and Steel for its Terra types. So, pretty scary team across the board, but I think we've developed a team that can do pretty well into this matchup. So, getting into the team here, we have first up our Dead Boy Annihilate. We are running Terra Ghost Annihilate this week with leftovers. We also have Drain Fist, Rage Fist, Drain Punch, Bulk Up, and U-Turn. So, with the Define ability. So the thought is, with Kricketune, if it brings Sticky Web, we get a free +2 with Defiant. Any moves that could potentially lower our stats, like Pheasantipede Moonblast, for instance, or Play Rough, those moves could be very good for us with that Defiant boost. Plus it forces... I don't believe he has a Defogger. I don't believe Pheasantipede gets Defog. Zapdos lost Defog. Blaziken should never run it if it does still have it for whatever reason. But, I mean, I don't really want Vital Spear. I don't need to really worry about being put to sleep by anything. So, I'm not too worried about that. U-Turn is there for momentum. Bulk Up is there to build up off physical defense as well as physical offense. And boost our Rage Fist a little bit. Terra Ghost is for the Rage Fist, obviously. And then Drain Punch for stab HP recovery to pair with that leftovers. We're running max special defense with a lot of bulk in HP, and the rest is going into physical defense. So the main thing here is if we can get cleanly into Zapdos, we can kind of Terra, get a bulk up off, and then start Rage Fisting, Drain Punching, depending on how many boosts we have with it. So this is mainly meant to do damage. It's not meant to sweep or anything, but it can have sweeping potential because there's not a ton on his team that really wants to try to deal with Annihilate, especially once it's Terra Ghost. So that is the main thought with this guy. Our next Pokemon here is going to be Greninja, our Ninja Boy. We're running Life Orb this week. We are running Battle Bond as well for its ability. We're running nearly max speed and max special attack with a timid nature, so that way we can outspeed the majority of his team. We outspeed Cyclizar at max speed, but we do not outspeed that Deoxys, which is okay. We don't need to outspeed Deoxys, we just need to chip it down. And we do have priority, which we'll get into in a minute. We're running Water Shuriken for stab, same with Dark Pulse, Ice Beam for coverage, and then Grass Knot for the Samurott Hisui if it's not running Assault Vest, as well as the Piloswine, as long as it's Terra Ground or it doesn't Terra. So that is the main thought with this Greninja, is just to do a lot of damage, chip things down as much as possible, so that we can sweep with pretty much anything, really. The Annihilate would be a nice sweeper. We do have a couple other options for sweeping potential or just breaking potential in general. This thing could be a nice cleaner for late game too, once things are chipped down a decent amount. So that is the main goal with Greninja, is to chip things down and potentially sweep and clean up at the end of the game. Next up, we are running Scizor. We have our Iron Boy this week with Choice Band. Choice Band Technician Bullet Punch just does so much into the majority of his team. I think it does at least 30% to most things. U-Turn is there for pivot and momentum. Close Combat is there mainly for stuff like the Samurott, the Cyclizar, and the Orthworm, just so we can hit it. And Knockoff is there just because Knockoff's a great move. The main idea with Scizor is we lead this thing, get a U-Turn off depending on the lead on the opposite side. Bullet Punch should KO Pheasantipede as long as it's not running like Babiri Berry, the Steel Resist Berry. It should be able to take that down very easily without much issue, so we don't need to worry about Heat Wave quite as much. So we're running max HP as well as max attack with Adamant, so that way we can try to live a Fire Punch from Deoxys, because it does get Fire Punch, and that's like the one thing that it can use to hit us for damage above 40-ish%, 35-40% or so. So that's the main idea with this guy, is just to do a lot of physical breaking damage. Going into our next mod that we're bringing this week, we are bringing Garchomp, our Sharp Boy. We're running more of a Tank Chomp set, but not really. So we're running Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet. We are bringing Stealth Rock and Dragon Tail and Earthquake, the standard Tank Chomp set, but we switched Spikes for Iron Head. And the reason we did that is Terra Fairy Zapdos kinda is a problem that we can't really deal with too well. So we have enough speed that we can outspeed a Zapdos speed creeping Annihilate. So that way we're hitting 309 speed. It can hit 308 if it's running enough speed to outspeed Annihilate. And the idea is, if it Terra Fairies, Iron Head is a nice 2-shot on it. It does a little bit more damage than Earthquake does. And if it runs Terra Electric, Earthquake just runs through it. If it runs Terra Flying, we can just Dragon Tail it out. It's not going to really do much damage to us. Maybe it hits like a Terra Blast Flying or like a Hurricane or something. But the main thing with this guy is it can Oko Blaziken, Oko Pheasantipede, and it can just do massive damage across the board without any physical investment, so we're not going to worry too much about giving it physical investment. So we have a lot into physical defense, some into HP, and the rest is into speed, so that way we can outspeed a lot of things and just do some damage. So this is going to be our main check to Blaziken, more or less, as long as it's running like close combat, Flare Blitz, Brave Bird, and not like Earthquake or anything like that. We can it'll take like 50% of its Life Orb. So that's the main idea with Garchomp here. Next up, we have our good boy Avalugg. This guy can put in a lot of work. So it's running heavy duty boots because we are running Rapid Spin with it. We also have Recover, Ice Spinner, and Body Press. The funny thing is, we don't have like any defense investment. This is like no defense investment Avalugg. This is all special defense, HP, and attack. So we're running 200 attack with an Adamant nature. This will allow us to potentially Oko Bramblegast if it has 248 HP EVs. Nothing else. So a bulky Bramblegast gets Oko'd by this thing, which is awesome because that gets rid of the spin blocker. One spin blocker. Zapdos also kind of works as a spin blocker. But it also gets rid of a Rapid Spinner on that side if Bramblegast is brought. Plus, Ice Spinner just does massive damage across the board too. So Avalugg kind of hits hard that way. Ice, he doesn't really have a great ice switch in outside of like Earthworm, and we can kind of just like body press Earthworm or switch into Annihilate because Annihilate kind of just walls Earthworm. Recover is there for HP recovery. We're running Sturdy in case we get put down, like we could get O-code by something. It is very likely that that does try to happen. But the main thing with special defense is Zapdos kind of runs through most of this team, more or less. We do have one more mon we have to go over that kind of helps with that a little bit. But if we do somehow get in a situation where we're in a 1v1 against Zapdos with Avalugg, we can take 1 or 2 hits depending on if they land and how much investment there is on the Zapdos. But we'd be able to do massive damage back. I think we do like roughly 50% if it's an offensive variant. So Avalugg does do a lot in this matchup, which is awesome to see because this thing is such a low point count. So, and lastly, we have the main Zapdos check and the main Pheasantipede check as well. So we're running Rock Boy, our Toxtricity with leftovers, and we're running more of a specially defensive set this week. So I think we're near max special defense. We're running Volt Switch, Boom Burst, Overdrive, and Sludge Bomb just to get maximum amount of damage and switch out if we need to. As long as that Piloswine doesn't show up, we should be able to Volt Switch freely onto pretty much anything and get a nice slow pivot off. We have like no speed investment, so we're outspeed by the majority of my opponent's team. We have a good amount of special attacks, so that way our Punk Rock boosted moves like Boom Burst and Overdrive do a good chunk of damage. Sludge Bomb is there for the potential chance to poison, which is always nice, especially going into something like Zapdos where it gets Roost, Terra Fairy, it's kind of really bulky. That can pose a bit of an issue. And then we're running 320 HP EVs just so that we get the most out of our leftovers, but we also don't have to worry about Toxic or anything. So I'm going to keep that in mind. But yeah, that is the team for this week, for week 1 against Arch Ovum. Thank you guys for watching the team builder here. We're going to get into the battle in a little bit. So thank you guys for watching to this point. I'll see you in the battle. Hello, Steel City Surge fans. Kippy here, coach of the Steel City Surge, back for week 1 of PDL Orange Islands Division for Season 4. We're taking on Arch Ovum this week, and we see Pheasantipity, Zapdos, Deoxys Speed, Kricketune, Orthworm, and Brambleghast. So 5 of the 6 mons were expected. The Kricketune was not expected. I'm a little confused by that. But I think I still lead with my Iron Boy. Not seeing Blaziken is really, really nice for me. Not seeing Blaziken is huge. That thing was kind of a problem. So I'm going to lead Scizor, and I'm going to U-turn right off the bat. Best of luck to Arch Ovum this week. Best of luck to Arch. Alright, let's see what the lead is. It's Zapdos lead. Okay. So I don't like Zapdos as a lead. I mean, I can kind of just go into... I kind of have to just go into Toxtricity right off the bat. I'm not going to risk Scizor taking any damage right now. And I kind of want to see what he goes for. We see the Terra right off the bat. Is this Terra Fairy? Terra Electric. Okay. Garchomp is looking insanely good right now. We do see a Volt Switch. 320 to 210. We did 34% with the Volt Switch. That is specs. That is modest choice specs. Yeah, it's 100% choice specs. Zapdos. It's Terra Electric. Goes right into Dio Speed. Choice specs. Volt Switch. Okay. So, EOS. I mean, I feel like I can kind of just go into Scizor. Psychic Boost does do a lot of damage to me from an offensive version. Plus, I don't want to take a Psychic Boost currently. Okay, so we're going to hard swap back into Scizor. He goes for a hard swap himself. What does he go into? Fez. Okay, this actually works. I'm okay with this. Bulky Pheasantipity does not take a Bullet Punch very well at all. I'm gonna go for the Bullet Punch here. He stays in. Do we knock it out? We do knock out the Pheasantipity. That is massive. That is a massive threat just gone. That Pheasantipity was annoying. We are locked into Choice Band currently, but that's okay. That's the Orthworm. Okay, so we can just go straight into Annihilate here. I'm okay with going straight into Annihilate on the Orthworm. Goes for Spikes. That's fine. We do have Avalugg. We do have Avalugg to get rid of those spikes. I kind of just want to go for a bulk up here. Also, I just realized he didn't bring Samurott at all. I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to go straight for a bulk up. Hard swaps. I could have U-turned, but I think getting a bulk up right now is pretty solid. Goes into Cricketune. Okay. I could probably Terra Ghost here on the Cricketune. We might outspeed it. If he wants to go for webs, I think that's okay. I don't think Cricketune gets anything that I need to be scared of, right? It could go Perish Song. If he brought Perish Song, that's crazy. He could knock. I'm just gonna Rage Fist here. He does Perish Song. Okay, that's fine. Perish Song, maybe Infestation. He's also got Speed Investment. Perish Song. I don't think you get anything that... Yeah, I don't really think you get anything that can trap me, but I'm gonna U-turn anyway, because I think you swap. You go for Sticky Web, okay. That's fine. So we go for U-turn here, and we go right into Avalugg. And we actually KO you as well. Okay. So we can go right into Avalugg. Yeah, we can go right into Avalugg here. That's really bad for him that he's got the sticky webs up currently, but I think he goes into Bramble. He does go right into Bramble. This is okay because I can just Ice Spinner right now, and we might be able to take this thing out. It is Leech Seed, which is kind of crazy because during mocks with Frida, we actually had Leech Seed as one of the sets. If this is maxed Bolt, it might live. But if we take down the Bramble Gas too, that is massive. That is massive. So we can get rid of this spikes and we can get rid of the spikes and the sticky webs right now. We have a 3-0 lead currently too. This is going way better than I expected, honestly. But I'll take it. I'll 100% take it. Goes into Zapdos. That's fine. We can go for a Rapid Spin here and just get rid of the hazards entirely, which is the plan here. Does go for Volt Switch. She's going to take us down to Sturdy. Or not. Or not. It's... Oh, it's Life Orb. I missed that before. It's not Specs, it's Life Orb. I missed that. Of course, I look away. I look away when I'm checking these things, of course. So we do see the Orthworm come back out. That's fine. We go for the Rapid Spin. We get rid of the spikes. Get rid of the sticky webs. That is massive. That is absolutely massive. We do see it as leftovers. Orthworm with spikes. Leftovers. We didn't do enough with our Rapid Spin. I mean, if this has no investment, it still outspeeds us. Do I desperately need Avalugg? I don't know if I want to risk anything right now. I'm going to go for a Body Press and just get damage off on you, because it's going to do a chunk. He hard swaps. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to get some solid damage off on something. Off on the Zapdos. Okay, that's good. More chip on the Zapdos is good. That's a decent amount of chip. He's probably going to Volt Switch here. I am just going to Body Press again. He goes for Roost. Okay, so we're going to get some more chip off on it. Does get the static off. That's fine. What does more on Zapdos actually? Does Zapdos... I mean, it's Terra Electric. Body Press is not doing that bad to it, but Ice Spinner actually does a little bit more, so we're gonna go for Ice Spinner. Goes for Roost again. If we get through this paralysis, Ice Spinner is going to do a lot of damage to Zapdos, and I'm actually curious to see how much we don't get through. Okay, so he's going to get a knockout onto us. But Garchomp EQ kind of just does massive damage to this thing, and I don't think he can really hit us. He goes for T-Bolt. Okay, so he's going to knock us out. That's fine. He does have Earthworm as well, but he doesn't have a way of removing hazards, so I can go straight into... Garchomp here and feel pretty fine about going for a Stealth Rock. Because you can't really get rid of it, and that's good solid chip on the switch-ins too. He switches into Earthworm, I'm assuming. Yeah, he goes right into Earthworm. This is fine. We get solid chip on switch-ins, which was the whole goal with that. Now we go into Annihilate. We can get set up for free with Annihilate now. Let's go for spikes, but I honestly don't think I need to worry that much, because Scizor can kind of just more or less deal with the Zapdos. More or less, I should... Like, it is Life Orb. But a close combat will do a massive chunk of damage to it. We're gonna bulk up. Does hard swap, so we get a free bulk up. We haven't Terra'd yet either. You see the Zapdos come back in. We are +1/+1. We can go ahead and get our Terra Ghost off here. Terra Ghost Rage Fist after +1/+1 should do a large chunk of damage. Does a little bit more than Drain Punch, and that's not with the... Like, if I get hit by something, it might honestly take it out if he goes for an attack. I'm really surprised he went Terra Electric over Terra Fairy. And I'm really surprised he brought Kricketune too. Let's go for Volt Switch. So something is going to take a 100 base power Rage Fist. We are down to 253. So we're at 61% currently, and we're going to get Leftovers chip back. Goes back into the Earthworm. This is not going to like a Rage Fist here from Terra Ghost boosted Annihilate. Yeah, that does enough. That does enough. That does enough. That does enough where Earthworm should go down to Drain Punch. Roughly. Roughly should. So we'll go for a Drain Punch. Because that gets more HP back from us. Plus, if he wants to go into Zapdos, getting paralyzed is not the worst thing in the world. I could bulk up there again, but with Zapdos doing as much damage as it is with Volt Switch, I would rather just get damage off on stuff right now. Really taking his time with deciding here. He decides to stay in. He lives the Drain Punch. But we get all that HP back. Or we get a lot of HP back. A good amount. Goes for rocks. Okay, so he's going for hazards for whatever reason. Going for late game hazard stack for whatever reason. I'm not 100% certain on that. Now that I'm up to... Like, how much is Zapdos Thunderbolt doing? Terra Electric, offensive Life Orb Zapdos with Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt on my Annihilate currently is not going to two-shot me, so I'm okay with going for another bulk up here. He stays in again. I wonder what he goes for. Flash Cannon, interesting. Special Earthworm is kind of weird. But now I'm pretty sure Annihilate just kind of wins. We just go for a Drain Punch here. We knock out the Earthworm. I think Annihilate just kind of wins here. Unless it's like... even if it's Sash DOS, that kind of just goes down to Rage Fist. Because Stealth Rocks are currently on the field. See Zapdos come back in. It's going to take more chip. We're at max HP, so we definitely live whatever he throws at us. He goes for Thunderbolt. Rage Fist will knock this thing out in return. Nice. Now, I wonder how DOS wants to knock me out here. If it's offensive, depending if it's Life Orb as well. I mean, we'll see if it's Boots or not. It's not Boots, okay. 232 currently. I mean, I think we just win anyway, no matter what. We're at 56%. Yeah, we kind of, unless this thing is Specs, we kind of just win with a Rage Fist here. Psychic, yeah, we win. That's GG. GG's to Arch. GG's. Annihilate kind of just went ham here at the end. GG's to Arch. Thank you guys so much for watching this battle. Annihilate kind of just went ham towards the end. I was kind of hoping it would just break for stuff and not just straight up sweep at the end, but hey, I mean, that works. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out Arch in the description of this video, as well as the other PDL Orange Islands coaches. All their channel links are down in the description. Go check them out. They're all great content creators. Some of them are pretty new, but some of them are really well established in the community. So go ahead, check them out, give them subs, give them likes on their videos, watch them, give them comments, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys next week for week 2. So thank you guys so much for watching once again, and peace.